Coming up today, mixed reactions to the Iran nuclear deal. The US and Iran describe the agreement as a victory for diplomacy. Israel calls it a historic mistake. Korea and China have agreed to boost the tourism industry in Korea following the recent MERS outbreak, which prompted thousands of Chinese tourists to cancel their trips to the country. Plus, Arirang TV officially launches on the United Nations in-house network, joining a host of other international news channels like CNN and BBC World. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, July 15th here in Seoul. Thank you, as always, for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. And we start with the latest international reaction to the historic nuclear deal between Iran and the world's 6 major powers, reached after more than a decade of on-off negotiations. Within the last few hours, Israel has slammed the agreement, calling it a stunning mistake that will lead to a far richer terrorist regime. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the deal makes the world a much more dangerous place than yesterday, and his country will not be bound by it. He also said the agreement repeats the same mistakes made with North Korea. The deal, agreed in Vienna on Tuesday after marathon talks between Iran, the US and other world powers, limits Tehran's nuclear program in return for the lifting of sanctions. Among dozens of other conditions within the agreement, Iran has affirmed that under no circumstance will it seek to develop nuclear weapons, and UN inspectors will be allowed extensive access to Iranian military sites. US President Barack Obama hailed the deal, but warned Republicans that he plans to seize this historic opportunity and will veto any effort to prevent the deal's implementation. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said a new chapter has begun in his country's relations with the world. And the South Korean government has expressed hope Iran will faithfully fulfill the obligations of the nuclear agreement so it can contribute to the establishment of regional peace and security. In a statement on Tuesday, the government welcomed the deal and said that Seoul will continue to work with the international community to achieve global denuclearization. The government added that the issue surrounding North Korea's nuclear program could also be resolved through sincere dialogue. It again urged Pyongyang to take steps towards denuclearization in accordance with the September 19 joint statement and UN Security Council resolutions. President Park Geun-hye will meet with the leaders of the ruling party at the presidential office of Cheongwadae on Thursday. Senator Party Chairman Kim Moo-sung said he will visit the president with newly elected floor leader Won Yu-chol and new chief policymaker Kim Jong-hoon. The meeting comes as the new floor leader faces a host of challenges, one of which is improving relations with the presidential office. The two sides are expected to share views on pending bills, including a supplementary budget plan aimed at boosting the economy following the MERS outbreak and the prolonged drought. President Park's meeting with the party leadership will be her first in 5 months, following a meeting with former floor leader Yoo Seung-min back in February. Now, Korea's first public home shopping TV channel selling domestic agricultural products and goods made by small and medium-sized businesses went live on Tuesday. Our Chae-sun has this report.
Korea's first public home shopping channel showcased its inaugural lineup of products before its official launch on Tuesday. President Park Geun-hye got a preview of the goods, including a timer-operated rotating cooker.
어떤 점을 부각해서 소비자한테 알리실 계획인가요?
그동안은 조리를 할 때 이게 늘 뒤집어지는 번거로움이 있었고요. 기름이 튀었거든요. 그런데 이건 돌아가기 때문에 뒤집어주지 않고요.
A year ago, the government announced plans to launch a public shopping channel to help Korea's small and mid-sized firms and the agricultural and fisheries sector secure a market for their innovative products.
공영 홈쇼핑은 중소기업과 농수산업의 혁신적인 유통 플랫폼의 역할을 하면서 창조적인 우수한 제품의 발굴을 선도해 나갈 것입니다.
Significantly reducing the commission that sellers pay a shopping channel, the public broadcaster will boost the competitiveness of SMEs by way of product enhancement and innovation. Farmers and fishermen will also be able to save on distribution costs through direct trade with consumers.
상품성이 있는 제품을 만들고도 이제 소비자에게 알릴 길이 없어서 이제 그 소비자도 모르고 또 제품 개발자도 애를 태우는 이런 일은 이제 앞으로 없어질 수 있도록 많이 힘써 주시고요.
Highlighting the government's support for innovation, President Park also visited a startup town where entrepreneurs and investors are teaming up to launch their businesses globally. There, she asked that they work closely with the government and conglomerates, completing a full cycle of an ecosystem for startups. Choi Yu-sun, Arirang News.
Korea and China have been holding talks on how to revive Korea's tourism industry, which has taken a major hit from the MERS outbreak. Korea's culture minister, Kim Jong-dok, met on Tuesday with his Chinese counterpart, Lee Jin-zhao, chairman of the China National Tourism Administration in Beijing. There, they agreed to boost tourist exchanges between the two countries. Kim also stressed that Korea has not seen a new case of MERS for 9 straight days, adding that the outbreak will likely be over in the coming weeks. As a first step, Seoul will send a so-called friendship committee of 500 people representing industries like travel, media and the arts to China next week. Arirang TV has signed a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations to launch a 24-hour channel on the UN in-house network. It becomes the first Korean channel to establish a 5-year partnership with the UN and joins a host of other international news channels like CNN and BBC World. Hwang Sang-yi files this report from the UN headquarters in New York.
Arirang TV will now reach viewers at the UN headquarters in New York. Arirang TV CEO Bang Seok-ho signed a memorandum of understanding with UN Under-Secretary General Christina Galak on Tuesday, announcing the launch of a 24-hour channel on the UN in-house network.
That will enhance the knowledge, the understanding of the Republic of Korea and the region here. The media outlets available through the UN in-house network can be viewed by many staff members, diplomats, visiting government officials. You mentioned about key opinion leaders.
Attending the MOU signing ceremony, South Korean ambassador to the UN, Oh Jun, noted the significance of this historic agreement.
Arirang TV, as Korea's prime English language broadcaster, I'm certain that it will lead the way to enhance communications between the United Nations and the Korean people. And in Korea as well, through this new initiative.
Seoul has been mired in years of historical dispute with Tokyo and has been promoting the importance and benefits of a reunified Korea to the international community. To better introduce Korea's perspective on various issues, Arirang TV will broadcast a mix of news and current affairs program that cater to the UN network. Arirang TV CEO Bang Seok-ho vowed the channel will strive to become the voice of Korea across the globe.
Just like our new slogan, the world on Arirang, we pledge to the bridge that connects Korea and the world through our quality programs.
Arirang TV is the first Korean channel to establish the 5-year partnership with the UN headquarters. Other international news channels available on the UN network include CNN International, BBC World, and Al Jazeera, among others. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon also welcomed Arirang TV to the United Nations, expressing his hopes for the channel to soon play a key role in bridging the gap between Korea and the UN. Hwang Sang-yi, Arirang News, New York.
President Park Geun-hye, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon and a number of other high-profile figures have also congratulated Arirang TV for its launch on the UN in-house network. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Korea is a strong supporter of what the UN does to serve peace around the world. Starting today, Arirang TV can be viewed on UN screens. May the channel help the world's diplomats and the UN staff get a better picture of issues relating to the Korean Peninsula as well as our culture. My congratulations once again on the launch of Arirang TV on the UN in-house network.
I warmly welcome this dynamic broadcaster to our United Nations in-house network. Arirang now takes its place with other major global news outlets. The public deserves to know more about the work of the United Nations for peace, human rights, and sustainable development. And I hope Arirang will be there to cover the story. Welcome to the United Nations.
이번 아리랑 TV의 UN 인하우스 네트워크 채널 진출로 세계 국제방송 뉴스 채널들과 어깨를 나란히 하면서 국제사회에 더욱 생생하게 한국의 목소리를 전달할 수 있게 된 것을 매우 뜻깊게 생각합니다.
Korean movies, music, and broadcasting contents are already well received by many people in all corners of the world. Now it will become possible for Korea to share its cultural contents and various other charms with wider audiences.
I sincerely hope that Arirang TV will be able to play a key role as an effective channel of Korea to the United Nations and of the United Nations to Korea.
Some very kind words there. Now, if you're wondering what kind of programs Arirang TV will be airing on the UN in-house network channel, then look no further than this next report. Our Gwon-soa has a rundown.
The latest news and programs from Arirang TV will be beamed into the UN headquarters in New York 24/7, 365 days a year. Arirang TV joins around 20 other major global channels at the UN, but what exactly will be aired?
The Arirang TV UN channel will differentiate its programming from the existing Arirang TV World and Arirang TV Korea schedule, putting greater focus on news and current affairs.
These include business programs, debate shows, and up-to-the-minute news bulletins 11 times a day. Korea's culture will be promoted through talk shows, documentaries, special interviews, as well as food and travel programs. Arirang TV already has a global reach of over 123 million households, but the channel's makers and presenters anticipate an even greater future for the channel with the new launch.
We will have an extended newscast. I will be doing the 24 a.m. or midnight news. I'm sure the UN headquarters will have an additional eye in Korea and North Korea and the Korean Peninsula and Asia in general. So it's an honor to be able to be the window for UN headquarters in that respect.
News Tellers is a global talk show where we deal with viral issues happening in and out of Korea with a panel of international journalists. So hopefully this will provide a balanced perspective on Korea to UN in-house network channel.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for people from all around the world and diplomats in the UN headquarters, as well as people coming in and outside of UN headquarters, to actually learn more about the Korean economy, about the Korean markets, and business stories that you can't really get anywhere else, but only on Business Daily.
In addition to broadcasting unique contents, the UN will provide Arirang TV with UN-produced programs for the channel to re-edit and air on Arirang World twice a week. Arirang TV's UN in-house network channel's broadcast schedule will especially be targeting the standard office hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. Gwon-soa, Arirang News.
Now, the 2015 Gwangju Universiade ended with a bang on Tuesday evening. Team Korea smashed everyone's expectations to finish well on top of the medal standings for the first time in the country's history. Our Kim Hyun-bin reports.
The 2015 Gwangju Universiade officially came to an end in Korea's self-proclaimed City of Light on Tuesday, with an impressive closing ceremony. The ceremony under the theme Sharing the Light featured over 900 performers in a dazzling display of spectacle and artistry. The city of Gwangju and the event organizing committee are delighted the Universiade was such a great success.
We have 13,000 participants from 143 countries, which makes the game the largest in its history. And also 9,300 volunteers and also 50,000 supporters also made the game with a success.
The host nation outstripped everyone's expectations in terms of its sporting performance.
This is the first time Korea has come first in the Universiade and the best result Korea has had in any international summer sports competition.
The accomplishment is even more significant considering the country's initial goal was to finish third place overall with 25 gold medals. Instead, Team Korea racked up an astonishing 47 gold medals, finishing well ahead of both China and Russia.
As a local resident, I'm pleased that Team Korea did well and hope they keep up the momentum to bring in great results in next year's Summer Olympics.
Korea's record-breaking performance at the Gwangju Universiade has definitely set the bar high for a strong showing at the next major summer sports competition, the 2016 Rio Olympics. But Team Korea may already be on the path to success, as several of the athletes has won gold here, are expected to keep the golden run going in Brazil. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News, Gwangju.
Well, those are the stories we have for you at this hour. Stay tuned for Business Daily. That's coming up at 8 a.m. Korea time, and we'll be back with our next newscast at noon Korea time. Until then, goodbye.